Good morning, everyone. It's a bit of a chilly start to the day, so we'll soon get warmed up. But I will be going to the council this week and talking to them about the COVID safe plan. So the classes will soon start live again, well, in person, not live. So let's get started. So remember your basics, and if you do have any injuries or a sore back, make sure that you do drop back to that easier variation. So choose the variation that's suitable for you. Standing spine roll. So remember to tripod with the feet, knees are soft, and you're beelining. So deep breath in, grow taller. Breathing out into chest, peel your spine off that imaginary wall. Notice how far down you're reaching. Beeline, use the abdominals to support the spine, uncurl to the upright. And again, deep breath in, grow taller. Breathing out, chin to chest, loosening through the spine, and notice how far down you're reaching. Crown of the head down towards the floor. Beeline, use the abdominals to support your spine. Uncurl one vertebra up at a time. And last one, breathe in, grow taller. Breathing out, chin to chest, and roll it down. Notice how far you are reaching, using the abdominals and uncurling to the upright. We'll go against the wall and do the pec stretch. Remembering to keep your forearm upright. Try not to have your arm like that. Keep that forearm wrist above your elbow. Elbow a little bit behind your torso, turning the feet to the center of the room, leaning forwards into your stretch. So making sure the stretch comes through into the front of the chest. Nice deep breaths, getting the breath to the base of the lungs. So looking forwards, not pulling round with your neck. Turn the feet towards the wall, easing the arm off, and over onto the other side. Elbow a little bit behind your torso. Turn the feet towards the center of the room. Lean forwards into your stretch. Relax your shoulders, no hunching, and maintain a tuck with the pelvis. Turn the feet towards the wall, easing the arm off. And we'll do a calf stretch against the wall as well. Elbows are resting at shoulder level. Front foot is in close. Make sure your back foot is straight, or even try turning your toes slightly inwards. Press your back heel down flat. Maintain a tuck with the pelvis. And changing legs, check your back foot is straight, or try turning those toes slightly inwards. Pressing that back heel down flat. And easing out of that. A little bit of balancing. Just going to get rid of that pop-up window. Okay. A little bit of balancing. So imagine you're holding something between your ankle bones so that your feet stay nice and straight. Rising up for 5, hold for 5, and down for 5. Think of contracting your calf muscles and the small muscles in your feet. So slowly up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it there. Tuck under with the tailbone. Hips should be above your ankles. Squeeze in from those inner thighs. Squeeze the buttocks. Now slowly down. Contract through those small muscles of the feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can always hold on to a chair if that balance is a little bit too challenging. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it up there. Squeezing in from the inner thighs. Most of the weight should be on the base of the big toes. So 70% of the weight on the base of the big toes, 30% distributed through the other toes. Slowly down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slowly up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it there. Squeezing the buttocks, squeezing your core, pinching your shoulder blades, slowly down. 1, 2. Don't be in a hurry. 3, 4, 5. Well done. So remember, if that balance is not too good and you keep on sickling out through those ankles and swaying into the back, make sure that you do practice that. Snap on that throughout the day. The balance is important. And remember, when you are going downstairs, to roll through your foot, actually use your foot. As you're going down that stair, all of the foot and then ease yourself down. So as you take that leg down, use your foot too, so that you're not going a quick bend on that supporting leg. We'll bring it down and do hip flexor stretch. Just bring it a bit closer. So big lunge forwards with that right foot, pressing your left hip towards the floor. Nice straight line from the crown of the head down towards that knee. And you can lift that back knee up off the floor for your firmest stretch. Nice deep breaths. Concentrate on your breathing. Get the breath to the base of the lungs. Make sure that you're tucking under with the pelvis leaning slightly to that left side. Feel that stretch at the front of that left hip. And changing sides. So big lunge forwards, knee stays behind the line of the toes, neck in line with the rest of the spine, soft elbows and shoulder blades. So no punching with those shoulders, soft elbows. So always comparing left and right side and making sure that you do feel that stretch in the right place. Easing out of that, a little bit of kneeling. So if that kneeling is too much for your knees, then don't stay there too long. Otherwise, you can keep some pressure on the hands. You can always put a cushion behind the legs there. Otherwise, tuck with the pelvis, lower back upright, or leaning back within your limits of discomfort. So aim to stretch through your thighs. Pressing the knees to the floor and tucking under with the tailbone. Tuck your chin and look towards your knees. Hand in the center, squeeze your core, bring yourself straight up. And we'll lie over on our sides for a thigh stretch, remembering to maintain your pelvic tilt. So don't go into a sway in your back. Isolate just into the thigh, no discomfort into that lower back. So, bottom leg is way forwards. Bring the heel to the buttock, tucking with the pelvis, and pull that knee back and behind your torso. So remember, you're trying to get that 9 out of 10 stretch into that thigh. So it does border into pain, but only into the thigh. And drop the knee down to the level of the hip. And over onto the other side. So bottom leg, way forwards. That helps you to keep your pelvic tilt. Bring the heel to the buttock, tucking with the pelvis, lock your pelvis into position, pull back and behind your torso. Consciously relax your stretch muscle, breathing through the stretch. And easing out of that, lying on your back for hamstring stretch. I'll use the band. And wide around the forefoot of your right foot. Make sure that your foot is nice and straight. You can keep that leg bent to make it easier, or straight for more of a challenge. So pressing up with the heel, down with the hip, bend the elbows, pull your knee towards your shoulder, and pull that forefoot down. Chin tucked in, you can always have a cushion in underneath your head or a rolled up towel. Breathe through the stretch, consciously relax those stretched muscles, Ease a little further into your stretch on your breath out. Your foot should be nice and flat as if you're balancing a book on top of that foot. And changing sides. So pressing up with the heel, down with the hip, bend the elbows, knee towards your shoulder. Pull your forefoot down. Easing out of that and your buttock stretch. Right foot on the left knee, hold behind your left thigh, or that firmer stretch in front of your left knee, plugging the thigh towards your chest. Try dropping that left knee slightly to the left-hand side. So just looking for that firmer stretch through into the right buttock. Keep your chin tucked in and shoulder blades pressed to the floor. You're bending your elbows to hug that knee to the chest. And change sides. Holding behind your right thigh or in front of that right knee, hugging the thigh to the chest. And easing out of that, you'll waken those abdominals up with heel taps. You want to keep your lower back imprinted to the floor. So we'll lift up and lengthen out, move those buttocks out the way, and maintain your tuck with the pelvis while back is pressed down. Knees are in line with your belly button, calves are parallel to the floor. Keep the same bend in the knee and you just hinge from the hip joint. Tuck your chin in, palms are facing up. Now beeline, pull those abdominals in, keep them flattened. Take as long to lower the leg as you do to raise the leg. Keep that bent knee exactly where it is. Don't let it start to sag down with you. So keep that one still, keep pull to the chest, keep pulling those abdominals in. Concentrate on your breathing. You are breathing out to lower and a deep breath in to raise. So flattening through the ribcage, flattening the abdominals, lower back is imprinted. If you want to challenge, lower both legs at once, as low to the floor as you can, where your lower back does not arch off the floor. Keep your chin tucked in, try to keep nice and relaxed through the upper half of the body, just isolating into that lower half. Use your breathing. So you're breathing out to lower, flattening through the ribcage, flattening the abdominals. Deep breath in as you raise. Chin is tucked in, lower back imprinted. Always brace by pulling in, never brace by pushing those abdominals out. You want to support your spine. One more. And hug those knees close. Squeezing your thighs to your chest. And a hover. So I'm sure you've been getting used to that 2-minute hover. You're probably all pros by now. We'll all be up for 2 minutes when I see you in a couple of weeks. And if not, you've got a little bit of time to practice. So always being vigilant that you're maintaining your tuck and your hips stay up at shoulder height. So no bananas. I love bananas, but just not in a Pilates class. So elbows in underneath your shoulders and hips are shoulder height. Check your position. Tuck, you can stay there. Otherwise, tuck the toes, lift it and hold it. So your feet hip distance apart, you're maintaining that pelvic tilt, your hips are staying up at shoulder height. Concentrate on your breathing. Breathe in for a count of 4, slow breath out for a count of 6. Breathe all the air out, squeezing the core as well as engaging through the pelvic floor. Pinching the buttocks will give you more stability. Make sure that you are concentrating on that tuck under with the tailbone. Isolate into the abdominals. Make sure that you're not starting to round into the upper back. So gently pinch your shoulder blades in that upper back. Keep your breathing deep and slow. Make sure that you're not starting to hold your breath. That's already a minute. So get easier now. So less than a minute to go. Keep concentrating on your technique. Use your breathing. So on that breath out, squeezing the core as well as engaging through the pelvic floor. Make sure that you are still maintaining that tuck with the pelvis, neck in line with the rest of the spine, pinching the buttocks for more stability. So if you do start feeling it in your back and you cannot maintain that tuck, you need to go to the knees. That's still no good. You need to ease out of it and join in again when you're ready. So always make sure you're feeling those correct muscles. It's your tummy, not your lower back. Release it gently and coming back into rest position. Make sure that your knees are wide and sink your chest low to the floor. Flatten your spine. And we'll do our side hover. And we're going to aim for 45 seconds with that side hover. So if you do have a sore shoulder, there's a reason why you don't want to do that side hover, you can always just do a little bit of one arm, one leg, or you can even do just the legs. Okay, so there are different options if the side hover is hurting your shoulder. So you can always stay on the knees. You can always give yourself a little bit of extra help. Make sure those calves are being back behind you so you've got a straight line from shoulder to the knee. And otherwise, foot forward or feet vertically stacked for more of a challenge. Lift it up and hold it there, reaching your top arm up. We're aiming for 45 seconds. If you do want to challenge, you can raise and lower that top leg while keeping your hips nice and high. So don't let those hips dip down. If those hips are dipping down, then you're better off just staying in that position. Make sure that shoulder blades are in pocket. Squeeze your core. Maintain a tuck under with the tailbone. Those hips lifted, that's 30 seconds. Just 15 more to go. Those hips lifted, neck in line with the rest of the spine. Tucking with the pelvis. Release it gently. The shoulders a quick roll and over onto the other side. 45 seconds, a little bit harder than the 30. Hopefully starting to warm up by now. Elbow underneath your shoulder. Lift it and hold it. And for that challenge, raise and lower. Breathing out to lift, breathing in to lower, hips vertically stacked, shoulders vertically stacked, neck in line with the rest of the spine. Breathe out to lift, breathe in to lower. Keep those hips nicely lifted, last 15 seconds. Maintaining that tuck with the pelvis. Release it gently and roll the shoulders. Side to side, one of your good pain relieving ones for the lower back, and also just getting that full range of rotation, or a little bit less rotation if the back is hurting, just nudge into that pain. So working the oblique abdominals again. Arms around shoulder level, feet together, knees together, relax the legs over, turn to look to the fingers of the opposite hand, Squeeze core and inner thighs to lift. So with the feet on the floor, we're concentrating more on flexibility. And this was some more of a pain relieving movement. Keep your shoulders down nice and flat. Push through with those hips. One more, pushing through with the hips. And back up again. Now feel free to continue with your feet on the floor. Otherwise, knees in line with the belly button. Feet a little higher than the knees. Either take the legs halfway or as low to the floor as you can, but you're still keeping that opposite shoulder pressed to the floor. Make sure your hands are shoulder height and not up there, and keep that opposite shoulder nice and flat. Keep turning the head to look towards the fingers of your opposite hand. Do the movement in time with your breathing. Breathing out to lower and a deep breath in to lift. So you keep moving, you don't hold the movement. It's in time with your breathing. Breathing out to lower and a deep breath in to raise. Keeping your shoulders nice and flat, squeezing core, squeezing inner thighs and pelvic floor as you lift. So those three things as you raise. Keep your knees locked together. You've got one more. Back up to the center, relax the feet to the floor. Now we'll hold a stretch. If your back is sore and you're just looking for an easier stretch, keep your knees vertically stacked as you take them to the right-hand side. If you'd like a firmer stretch, cross your left knee over the right, and now take the knees to the right-hand side. So try to get that left knee as low to the floor as you can, and nice and close and towards your armpit. We're trying to press that left shoulder blade as flat into the floor as possible. If that's too firm a stretch, you can take the hands slightly down. Make sure that you're beelining so that your lower back is supported. Uncross the legs, squeeze the core carefully out of that one. Across to the other side, either vertically stacked or right knee over the left, taking those knees down to the left-hand side. So you're trying to get the right knee to touch the floor within your limits of discomfort there. Keeping that shoulder as flat into the floor as possible. Breathe through your stretch. Relax into that twist. Don't force it. Keep beelining so your back is supported throughout. Uncross the legs, squeeze the core, rocking back, and give those knees a hug to your chest. Squeeze your thighs into the chest. And give your knees a circle. Reverse your circle. And the next one that we'll do is we're going to we'll do the hundreds. So you can hold on to your hand weights. You can just hold that position, or we can do alternating legs for more of a challenge. So if your neck is sore, now's a good time to pop that towel in or cushion in underneath your head. Make sure that you lengthen hips away from ribs, and your easier position, feet above the buttocks, legs are up more vertically. If you want to challenge, flex and turn up, straighten the legs, and you will do that alternating legs. You can always make it easier by just taking that leg to a 45-degree angle. Hold hand weights for a challenge. Now if you're just holding, squeeze ribs to hips, squeeze the inner thighs, pinch the buttocks, beeline. Otherwise, breathing out to lower, deep breath in to raise. Keep that opposite leg pulled in towards your chest. Your lower back should be imprinted, and nice deep breaths. Breathing out to lower and a deep breath in to raise. So look towards the leg you are lowering, beelining so your lower back is imprinted throughout. And as you would for perfect abdominal curl, squeezing your ribs towards your hips. One more with each leg. Keep those abdominals pulled in and flattened. Don't allow them to dome out. And hug your knees in close. So once again, feeling the tummy and not your lower back. One more of the hundreds. If you're starting to feel it in your neck, keep your head resting down with the chin tucked in. So lifting head and shoulders, either holding it there, squeezing the inner thighs, pinching the buttocks, squeezing ribs to hips. Otherwise, flex and turn out, breathe out to lower, deep breath in to raise. You can just take it down to that 45-degree angle to make it easier. Look towards the leg you are lowering. Keep that lower back imprinted. Beeline, keep the abdominals pulled in and flattened. One more with each leg. Keep squeezing ribs to hips. And hug your knees in close. You're going to do a single leg stretch, a piston action with the legs. So first of all, you'll hug that knee to the chest, so you'll loosen through the hip joint and then through the lower back, and then we'll do it without holding on. So if your neck is sore, still keep that towel or pillow in underneath the head. So a little bit of coordination. If it is your right leg, it is your right hand on the ankle. So it's the outer hand. If it's the left leg, it's the left hand on the ankle. If that's too much for you, pop both hands on the knee. But we're trying to get that leg straight in and not pulled at an angle. Okay? Squeeze ribs to hips. Either at a 45-degree with foot flexed and turned out, or more of a challenge, leg lower to the floor. Breathe in to bend. Last breath out. Bend your elbows to get that bent knee towards your armpit, so that you loosen through the lower back, you loosen through your hip joint. Bend your elbows, get that knee close in to the armpit. No hunching with the shoulders. Equal pressure on the buttocks. You're not rocking from side to side. Now hold the hands there and piston action. Push out through the heel. Get that opposite knee close into your chest. Beeline. Pull those abdominals in. Keep your lower back imprinted. And hug those knees in close. Now that same piston action with the legs, but now you're going to be rotating from the torso, so it is your crisscross. If you're finding the crisscross a bit much, you can either go back to heel taps or doing perfect abdominal curl, which we haven't actually done today yet. Interlink your fingers so you've got a good grip of the leg. Remember, the leg you are straightening can be either at a 45-degree angle to make it easier or low to the floor. Keep that forwards contraction. Don't keep relaxing back to the floor between your movements. Keep your elbows out wide. So look right across, get that bent knee across the body towards that opposite elbow. Shoulder blades are off the floor to the center and across to the other side. Now strong side out to rotate. Deep breath into the center. So you should be keeping equal pressure through onto the buttocks. You should not be rolling from side to side. Make sure that bent knee comes across the body and get that elbow touching that opposite knee. So that last breath out to get that stronger abdominal contraction. Look right across towards the opposite wall. Get that bent knee close into your chest. Use your breathing. One more each side. Get that elbow touching the knee. Last one. And hug your knees in close. One more abdominal one. We'll do the double leg stretch with 2 large circles of the arms. And if you want an added variation, we will do a helicopter. So the helicopter, arms and legs are moving, and you're trying to keep your torso locked still by using those abdominals. So So first of all, just before we lie down, I'll show you with the arms to make it a little bit easier so you get that helicopter movement. So if you just sit with your arms straight out in front of you, a smaller range of movement makes it easier. You're going to split, split, and then a half circle. So imagine there's a line down the center so you don't cross over that half circle. So if you don't cross over, the arms stay in their own half. So it's a split, split, and then a half circle. So they stay in their own half. Now that's what the legs will also do. So we will do the legs first, the arms, and then we'll put it all together. Okay. So I'll just show you the basic, because if you don't want to be taking off with the helicopter, you can just stick with your basic, in which case you will keep that pillow behind the head and not lift your head and shoulders. So if you would like a challenge, you can hold on to your hand weights. So just the legs first. Keep your head resting down if you want to, or lift head and shoulders. Extend the legs, flex and turn out. So remember, the smaller the range of movement, the easier the exercise. So start off small, split, split, and then a half circle. Remember, they stay in their own half. Squeeze ribs to hips, beeline. Split, split, half circle. Split, split, half circle. If you want to do a larger one, split, split, and a half circle. Split, split, and a half circle. Beeline strongly so that your torso stays locked still. The only thing that's moving is your legs. Split, split, half circle, and relax it down. Place your feet on the floor and have your arms up, palms facing inwards. We'll just try it with the arms, small first, then larger. Split, split, and half circle. Bit larger. All right, we get the idea. I'll just do 2 with the 2 circles, because if you want to continue that, you can do that. And then I'll show you the added variation where we do 2 helicopter, or 1 helicopter each side, and then knees to the chest. So your basic is feet above the buttocks, just your 2 circles, head absolutely still. You can keep the head resting down. 2 circles, knees to the chest. Pulling the abdominals in, lower back stays imprinted. If you're doing your helicopter, extend the legs up. 1 circle, arms and legs vertically, helicopter, split, split, half circle. Back to the center, finish your circle, and knees to the chest. All right, I'll talk you through the one with the helicopter. Feel free otherwise to just stick with your 2 circles. Whichever one you're doing, you're beelining, lower back is imprinted, keep your head resting down. If you need to lift head and shoulders, extending up. 1 circle, arms and legs up vertically. Keep it small to start off with. Squeeze the inner thighs, beeline to finish, and knees to the chest. Lifting head and shoulders, extending the legs. Big circle, arms and legs vertically, helicopter. You can go a little larger if you're getting more familiar with it. So split, split, and half circle. Squeeze the inner thighs, beeline to finish, and knees to the chest. Lifting head and shoulders, extending the legs. Big circle, arms and legs vertically. Split, split, half circle. Split, split, half circle, squeeze the inner thighs, beeline to finish, and knees to the chest. Lifting head and shoulders, extending the legs, big circle, arms and legs vertically, split, split, half circle, split, split, half circle, squeeze your inner thighs, beeline to finish, knees to the chest. You have 1 more, lifting head and shoulders, extending the legs, big circle, arms and legs up vertically, split, split, half circle, split, split, half circle, squeeze your inner thighs, beeline to finish, and hug your knees in close so you come down for a safe landing. Well done. Hug those knees in close, give the knees a circle, reverse your circle, sitting up. We'll do a little bit of rolling, otherwise the seal. So it's for loosening into the back. If you are nervous and have got a sore back and this one's not for you, you can just be down low and you can just give yourself a little rock down low without coming up. Keep your back as curved as possible so that you're doing a smooth rock. Or if that's still too much, you can just rock those knees in low and circle and reverse your circle. But with the rolling, it's easier if you hold behind the thighs. You want to curve your back as much as possible so that you're not getting flat spots into your back. So sink into the hips, let your legs fit back and bring yourself up. So that's your easiest one. Don't let your head touch the floor. Tuck your chin in and let those legs fit back. A little bit more of a challenge, hold onto your ankles. You have to use the abdominals to bring yourself up. And try not to get those fat spots. Otherwise, take your hands through to show you from this direction so that you're holding them on like that. Okay. And then with our seal, I'll leave you to make the seal noises. I was told I sound like a pig. That was not complimentary, so I won't do that one again. So, perch. So don't do this one if you've got a sore back, just do the rocking down low. Now, perch up there, clap your feet 3 times, or your fins 3 times, sink into the hips, clap 3 times, 1, 2, 3, come up, balance, don't let your feet touch the floor, clap 3 times. Curve into your back, don't let the head touch the floor, sink into your hips, come up, sink in, come up, balance, sink into the hips, balance, curve into the back, come up, balance, well done. Before you have too much fun out there, otherwise your animals will wonder what on earth you're doing on the floor, making such a noise. Good for loosening into the spine. As you roll back, we quite often notice what a flat spot we've got in the back. So you really need to tuck, 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 and sink into those hips. And you're getting a little bit of a self-massage along the spine. And we'll do a spiral stretch. It was supposed to work. So one leg directly out in front of you, other foot at the level of the knee, and you'll be in this rotated position. When you come up out of that stretch, remember if your back is sore, face your straight leg to come up. So deep breath in, rotate to the bent leg, taking yourself down across to that straight leg. Hold the inside of the foot if you can reach it, slide your other hand down between the shoulder blades. Twist your chest to the ceiling, bend the elbow, armpit closer to that straight leg. Lean over onto the buttock of the straight leg. Yes, Maureen, and a few other flexible ones. You can do your pretzel. Twisting the chest up to the ceiling, getting the breaths into the armpits. So lean onto the buttock of the straight leg. One more deep breath, stretch both hands out towards the straight leg, facing straight or bent leg. Squeeze the core to ankle, release it down and change sides. Hips are facing forwards, foot at the level of the knee, keep that foot upright, don't let it start to flop outwards. Deep breath in, rotate to the bent leg, breathing out, take yourself across to the straight leg, slide your other hand down between the shoulder blades, tuck your elbow close to your head. Twist your chest up to the ceiling, bend the elbow, armpit closer to that straight leg. Breathe through your stretch and relax into it. Don't force it. Keep twisting your chest up to the ceiling. You should feel that stretch along the side. It may come through into your lower back as well. Make sure that you are beelining. One more deep breath. Now stretch both hands out towards the straight leg. So maybe if you've got a sore back, face that straight leg and slowly uncurling. And sitting cross-legged. My favorite twist for your upper back, hand on the knee, and twist your shoulders square onto the side wall. So, and from all that ironing, this one is a good one for you. Grow taller. Relax your shoulders, no hunching, and across to the other side. Grow taller. Use the hand on the knee to help pull yourself around, no pulling around with your neck. And release out of that. Now for some back strengthening. So you have got the option of lying flat on the floor and doing your one arm, one leg. You can always put that towel in underneath you to maintain your pelvic tilt. And you can do one arm, one leg. All right? Otherwise, we'll be up on all fours. So just careful of those tight sore wrists if this one's too much for you. And we're going to be doing it with a rotation. So one arm, one leg. Make sure that shoulder blades are in pocket, no hunching, and you've got soft elbows. Push out through your heel. One arm, one leg, opposite sides. Now get that knee across the body, get the big knee close into the chest, and push out through your heels, squeeze the buttocks, keep your pelvis square down to the floor. So your more challenging one, you can do that one arm, one leg where you're keeping on with that same side. We aim to do 10 on each side. Otherwise, if that's not for you, you can also just do your alternating with the sides. It's like the hover, you need to squeeze the core. I'm going to do the rotation one. So choose your variation. It can be lying flat on the floor, or one arm, one leg, or doing the rotation. So get that bent knee close into your chest, holding, holding, holding. Push out through the heels, squeeze the core, squeeze through the buttocks. Flex your foot, elbow to opposite knee. Push out through your heel, soft elbow, shoulder blades are in pocket. Get that bent knee close into your chest and push out through your heel, squeeze the buttocks. Bent knee close into the chest, get the elbow touching the knee. Push out through your heel, elbow touching that knee, push out through your heel, squeeze the buttocks. Get the knee close into the chest, push out through that heel. Knee in close, squeeze through the buttocks. Knee in nice and close, squeeze the buttocks. Knee close, squeeze the buttocks tight. One more, push through your heel, hold, change hands. Give those wrists a little shake, and swapping sides now. So I've just done that side. I don't think which side I've just done. All right. So it's this side. Get that bent knee close in. Push out through the heel. As you push out through that heel, make sure that you're not swaying in through your lower back. Squeeze your core, maintain that tuck with the pelvis. So remember, it is like the hover. Be aware of that position of the pelvis. Push out through the heel, squeeze the buttocks, flex your foot. Soft elbow on that supporting side, no locking out on that elbow. Get the elbow touching the knee. Push out through your heel, squeeze the buttocks. Elbow touching the knee, pushing through the heel. Get the elbow in close. Push out through the heel, holding, holding, holding. Relax. Give those wrists a little shake again. Okay. Time for everybody's favorite. We'll all be down for a swim. Palms are facing inwards. So either your one arm, one leg, or otherwise arms and legs lifted. Nice, slow swimming. Neck in line with the rest of the spine. Looking down. Squeeze the buttock of the leg that you are lifting. No rocking from side to side. Draw those shoulder blades into pocket. No hunching with your shoulders. Have a short rest. And another set when you are ready. Squeeze your core. So just guard against the shoulders creeping up to your ears. Draw them back down away from your ears. So one arm, one leg, nice and slow. So you're raising with control, lowering with control. Squeeze your core. Remember to pull those tummy muscles away from the floor. Release it down gently. Now fast swimming with just the legs or arms and legs. Percussion breathing. Squeeze the core, pinch the buttocks, nice and fast, keeping the torso locked still. Keep pulling those tummy muscles away from the floor. Have a short rest. And another set of your fast swimming. Make sure that you're pulling those abdominals in. Try and get that percussion breathing flowing. Squeeze the core and pinch the buttocks. Try and get a little bit of a larger range of movement going if you can, while still keeping your torso locked still, and release it gently. Back extensions, flexibility into your back, hands next to your shoulders, onto your forearms, onto your hands, keeping your hips on the floor, shoulders away from the ears, back onto your elbows and down. Or if you're tight, have your hands further in front of you so that there's not quite so much arching into your back. And if the hands are further, your elbows will come out to the side. Still keeping the shoulders away from your ears. So deep breath in to push up. Get as much bend into your lower back as you can, comfortably can. Back onto your elbows and down. Deep breath in to push up. Make sure that you're tucking your elbows in to bring yourself down. Deep breath in to press up. And breathing out to release. Deep breath in to push up. And breathing out to release, pushing up, bend and stop just before the floor. Now don't cave in through your chest, looking forwards, tuck those elbows in close, as low to the floor as you can be without touching. Tuck those elbows close to your torso, squeeze your core, draw those tummy muscles in. So you're not down like this, you are up like that. Release it down and rest position. Make sure your knees are wide so that you can sink your chest low. Bring the buttocks on the heels, walk your torso to the right hand side. Nice deep breaths into the armpits. Feel that stretch all through that left hand side. And across to the other side, reaching out with your right hand. Keep your head between the arms. Easing out of that. And we'll be lying on our backs for shoulder bridge. So I'll give you two different options here. So this is one that most people should be snacking on a daily basis. There are lots of muscles working, so you get lots of bang for your buck. So palms are facing up. This is your basic. So if you've got a sore back, stick with the basic. Feet are nice and straight. They're not turned out. And feet are about a fist width apart. Palms are facing up. No pillow in underneath the head. Tuck your chin in. Push your shoulder blades into the floor. Get that opening through the chest. So pelvic tilt. Hold it there a moment. Then, so make sure that you're engaging through tummy and pelvic floor. You don't squeeze the buttocks to do your tuck. Just release back to neutral. So make sure that there is movement through the pelvis and you're really pushing that lower back down. Sharon, is your back nice and flat? Pull the tummy in and press your lower back to the floor. Release back to neutral. So there is movement through that pelvis. Now, once you lift up, squeeze the buttocks, peeling the spinal, and you go into you're on a nice straight line. Make sure that you're not going so that your back is arching. So don't go up too high where your back starts to arch. Nice straight line. Then tuck with the pelvis, roll your spine down. Last thing you do is release the pelvic tilt. So keep that tilt until the very end. I also want you to be squeezing in from the inner thighs. So you can pop something between the knees or just being conscious of that squeezing in. Now if you'd like more of a challenge, we're going to pop that leg up to a tabletop position, full weight on this leg, and that's same. So we'll do 5 each side. So tuck with the pelvis, push your hips up high. So you need to squeeze the buttocks tight. Now roll your spine down one vertebra at a time. Keep on the same side. Pelvic tilt, imprint your back. Squeeze the buttocks tight. Push those hips up high. Tuck your chin in. Tucking, tucking, tucking. Roll your spine down. You will notice when you're doing it with the one-legged that you're working those hamstrings and buttocks more strongly. It's more intense. Keep your pelvis square up towards the ceiling. Make sure that you're not dipping down with that side with the leg that is raised. So pelvic tilt, peel the spine off, squeeze the buttocks, push those hips up, roll your spine down, and change legs. So make sure knee in line with the belly button, parallel to the floor. So don't keep moving that leg, keep that leg where it is. Full weight on the left leg, your ankle should be underneath the knee. Pelvic tilt, peel off. Now squeeze the buttocks, push your hips to the ceiling, and roll your spine down. Sometimes those hamstrings will cramp. Give them a little stretch out, and then resume. If they are cramping, try to squeeze your buttocks more. Peel the spine off. So squeezing the buttocks will take the load off those hamstrings so that the buttocks work harder and the hamstrings are not forced to work quite so hard. So tucking with the pelvis, imprint the back, squeeze the buttocks, push your hips up high, roll your spine down. One more tuck, peel off, push your hips to the ceiling, roll your spine down. And if your hamstrings have had a little cramp, you can give them a quick stretch out. So it's more intense with that, but keeping your pelvis nice and square, always make sure you're not dipping down. So feel free to snap on that one if you found that one a little bit of a challenge. All right, time to stand up and do some arms. We'll use the band today. That's better. I've got a head after all. So now, if at any time what we're doing is hurting through the shoulders, feel free to just hold your band and pinch your shoulder blades. Make sure that you're getting back from there and not doing this. So pinch your shoulder blades. And also be aware that your hip should be above the ankle. Don't start going into that sway. Michelle, I'm watching. All right, so tummy in and tailbone down, band behind your neck. But at any time, if you want to do that easier one, if the shoulders are hurting, stretch your band, keep tension in the band as you bring it back in. So lengthen up through the crown of the head. Breathe out to stretch, breathe in to release. Taking as long to stretch as you do to bring it back in. So bring it back in with control. Tummy in, tailbone down. As you stretch, engage through tummy and pelvic floor. So looking for symmetry, make sure that you're not going down at an angle And now hold it and smooth little pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring the band overhead. So this one is to loosen through the shoulders, but if at any time you're finding it too much, you can just raise up. We're going to be taking the band back behind the head. If it's too much, just raise it up to the ceiling. So stretch the band equally with both arms so that you can slide it behind your back. If you're finding it hard, you may need to take your hands a little further apart. Make sure that you stretch equally with both arms to slide it back and behind. So loosening through your shoulder joints. Work within your limits. If it's too much, don't take it back and overhead. Stretch that band equally with both arms. Feel the stretch through the front of the shoulders and stop at shoulder level. So play around with how much resistance, less resistance or more resistance, and pinch your shoulder blades. Don't let the band touch your torso. Keep your wrists locked nice and straight. Tummy in, tailbone down. Breathe out to stretch, breathe in to release. So concentrate on your upper back, pinching between your shoulder blades. Now pulse it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and release. Give those shoulders a little circle out. Working your rotator cuff. Tuck your elbows in, hold so you've got a fair bit of resistance. So the movement you're aiming for is that. Keep your elbow at a 90, so make sure your arms aren't down there. Bend those elbows to that 90, and you're looking for equal rotation of both sides. If it is hurting you through one shoulder, stop a little earlier, do a smaller range of movement. Shoulder blades should be in pocket. So breathe out to stretch, breathe in to release. Tummy in, tailbone down. Your hips should be above your ankles. No swaying into that lower back. Be aware of the position of the pelvis. Stretch it and smooth pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it. Keep your neck relaxed, and you've got 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it. You'll never guess what. Another 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold it. And relax. Relax your shoulders. We'll just give those shoulders a stretch out. And on your elbow, bring that arm across your body. Relax your shoulder away from your ear. Gently pinch your shoulder blades. And other side, hug that arm in close. So your hand is on your elbow, so that elbow stays straight. Now slide your hand down between your shoulder blades. Push that hand down as far between your shoulder blades as you can. If you want to firm stretch, lean across to the side. When you come up, squeeze your core, slowly bring yourself up, change sides. Push the hand down between your shoulder blades. And easing out of that, and we'll stretch through the neck. So standing spine roll first. Breathe in, grow taller. Breathing out, roll it down. Hold it here for a few deep breaths. Notice how far down you're reaching. Let your head dangle, let your arms dangle. Now be like, use the abdominals to support the spine and curl all the way up. Stretching through your neck, being aware of your posture. Tripod with the feet, knees are soft, tummy and tailbone down, shoulder blades are in pocket, and looking over your shoulder. Look over the other side, drop your head back, chin to chest, and ear to shoulder, a gentle pull, pressing through the heel of the hand. And to the other side, a gentle pull and release. We'll be tucking the chin back and releasing. So when you tuck the chin back, it's a tuck back there and a release. It's not a look down. It's as if you're trying to make a double chin. Don't worry, it won't give you one. Tuck in, release to neutral. Tuck back and release. You should feel that pull up the back of the neck. Now tuck in, release to neutral. Walk tall and introverted.